Hey guys, William here again. Keeping up with this little mini series on how to buy a shipping container correctly, and so you don't buy from the wrong companies, you don't get scammed. Briefing on me is I've been selling containers for 12 years. I've worked for some of the worst companies in the industry, and 90% of companies that sell containers do exactly with what the companies did that I worked for 12 years ago. I've owned my own business for 10 years. In that 10 years, I don't have a single complaint on my business from a real customer that bought a container. I think I have 3 complaints, and all 3 complaints are from people that never bought a container from me. I provide a real service in this industry of people that are ripping you guys off. And then in this little mini series of how to buy a shipping container, I'm teaching you guys on how to protect yourselves. So the title of this video is Protect Yourself and Contracts. The first video I did was choosing a container seller. The second video I did was different container conditions and going into detail of what these different conditions of containers are that these people are selling or not selling or whatever the case is. The real names of what these things are and describing them correctly with honesty. And the third one I did, I think yesterday, was common sales pitches and lies. And in this industry, 90% of everybody you guys talk to over the phone, of people that are selling you a container, they're all lying to you about everything that they say. It's super rare in this industry, and this industry is not regulated. Some of the business ethics of what these cargo container companies are doing to you guys is borderline criminal, and I'm going to get into that. So protect yourself in contracts. After you've picked a seller, after you've picked the condition that you want, and you're aware of the sales pitches and lies, you're going to get to this point to where it's like, yes, I want to buy the container from whoever you're talking to. There's ways to protect yourself so you don't get scammed, and there's ways to protect yourself so you don't. All these companies out there that I'm warning you guys of, they put their company first and they put their customers last. It's not right. It's just the way it is. So here's some common ways to protect yourself. Number 1, if you have a company that's making you sign some type of agreement, whether they say they do cash on delivery, which they don't, they're not going to do cash on delivery. You're going to have to put a credit card on file somehow, some way. And they're going to verify that that credit card works some way. So let's say you're ready to place an order and they say cash on delivery, but you can't pay a cash on delivery. You got to put a credit card on file, and you're still ready to go. If there's a contract that you must sign in order to place an order with these companies and you don't read it, I'm almost positive. I know this happens because I've been sued for exposing the truth of what's going on. They have restocking fees, so if they bring you out a defective product, they're going to charge you a restocking fee if you refuse their container. They have cancellation fees once you sign that contract 5 minutes after your order. After you've placed an order, if you don't cancel in 5 minutes, they are going to charge you a restocking fee. Well, how do they charge you a restocking fee if you don't pay anything? That means you have to pay something. You sign an agreement that they have a cancellation fee and a restocking fee. Well, here's the loophole in that. If they have a restocking fee and you've signed this agreement and they promised you a container within an ETA time frame, that means they don't know with what day your container's arriving. And somebody's going to call you someday and then tell you the delivery date. And I just don't understand why these companies run their business like that. It's just the way it is. They always overpromise and underdeliver. My advice is if you're buying a container, don't sign any contracts. You're screwing yourself from the very beginning of the order. If they have a cancellation fee, why do they have to bring you a container? They can wait for you to cancel. I mean, seriously, they could just take your order, put a credit card on file. They could tell you they're not going to charge your credit card till your container gets there. But if they don't bring you a container and they give you 10 different lies of different delivery dates of why they never showed up and you cancel, they're going to hit your credit card because you authorized it. And they're going to assign you signed a document. So let's say they do that. And you call your credit card company and go, I never bought anything. I want to reverse the charges. Well, that all they have to do is send that document over to their credit card processor and say, hey, look, they signed a cancellation fee. You're going to get a specific amount of money back, but you ain't getting that cancellation fee. These restocking fees, and again, this is contracts, okay? If you sign this contract, restocking fee, cancellation fees. Don't sign any contracts, people. Okay. But if they bring you out a container on the right day and it's an old rust bucket piece of junk with holes, they number one didn't sell you the container you expected and they lied to you, and they didn't do it on accident. They purchased you a cheap, crappy product, and if you refuse it, they're going to get their money back that the driver charged. The driver's going to insist that you keep the container, and their warranty is going to take care of it. But these guys have the shittiest warranties I've ever seen. JB Weld. JB Weld doesn't fix a good container. It fixes a hole temporarily, and then you're going to need it again. So that's their warranty. JB Weld and a stupid patch kit, and they can tell you they have a warranty, but they sold you a crappy product. They shouldn't have sold you a crappy product in the beginning that actually had damage. They shouldn't have done that, number one. So you get a crappy product delivered someday, and you get JB Weld. Well, JB Weld ain't covering the whole container. It's still ugly. It's still rusty. And I'm not talking about surface rust like they call it. So anyways, I'm very passionate about this because I've been doing this way longer than all these other knucklehead, rookie, idiot companies out there that have figured out legal scams on how to scam you. So I'm teaching you how to protect yourself. Don't sign contracts, people. They don't have cash on delivery. So back to protecting yourself. How do you protect yourself? Number one, you should never pay by Zelle. You should never pay by ACH. You should never pay by wire. And you should never pay by mailed in checks or e-checks. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you send them money that way, how are you going to get your money back? How? You can't. You're at the mercy of that already bad company. These companies go as far as doing this. This is how they get you guys to pay for those forms of payment and this is something that I believe in. I think if you pay by credit card, they're going to sell you a better container. I think if you pay by any type of money where you cannot get your money back, they're going to sell you a piece of shit because they know you can't do anything about it. I don't know that for a fact, but I reading some of these complaints on these companies that I've been reviewing for like 5 years, and I recently started reviewing. I sometimes think that if you pay by those forms of payment, they already know you can't get your money back, so they're going to sell you a piece of crap container. Here's how they make you do it, though. They're going to tell you that they charge a 3% processing fee for your credit card, but they'll knock off 3% if you pay by Zelle, ACH, wire, e-checks, mailed checks. So they're trying to get you to pay that way so they don't have to pay credit card companies. But I actually think it goes farther than that. I think when you pay that way, they know they can bring you out a crappy container because there's nothing you can do about it now. You're at their mercy. And that contract that you signed, if you reject the container, they're keeping a chunk of your money. If you cancel your order after 5 minutes, they're keeping a chunk of your money. If you reject their container I believe they're going to charge you the restocking fee and a cancellation fee. So you could lose over $1,000 right there. Don't sign contracts. Don't pay with forms of payment that where you have no leverage of control of your own money. These companies don't put you as number one. They put you at very last. They've got to make money. They're going to put their company first. They have got to pay their sales agents commissions because they made the sale. They don't want to take the money back. You're going to pay for that. They've got to pay their employees. Everybody comes first with these companies that I'm warning you about, except for you. You don't come first. You are last. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. It's not a regulated industry where there's somebody giving these companies rules to obey. I think there should be, though. I think if you file a complaint with BBB on these companies, all the company has to do is respond to it. They still get to keep their A rating. You can make as many complaints as you want. I still believe a lot of these companies purchase fake reviews just because I've seen the patterns and they get a bunch of reviews and then boom, 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 all these fake reviews. So, my advice, and I sell containers over the phone. I don't sell through text messaging. Everything that I'm telling you guys in these videos is what I tell people over the phone. Some people want to hear it, some people don't. I think the people that don't want to hear it, all they care about is a cheap price and that's it. And a lot of companies are preying on you for that because they're not going to tell you the truth. And if you ask for the truth, they're going to tell you lies. Again, they oversell it or they undersell it. Undersell it means they're not going to give you all the truth. Overselling it is they're going to sell it with lies. So protecting yourself is this. If you have to and you really, really, really care about your product, you should drive to these depots and purchase directly from the depots, but you're going to pay $500 to $1,000 more for the container. If you want to protect yourself, but you don't want to pay an extra $500 to $1,000, I highly, highly advise paying by credit card. I don't charge 3%. I've never charged 3% in 10 years. Not once. Maybe once. I don't know. I think sometimes customers might offer, oh yeah, go ahead and charge me. But I never demand that at all. It's the cost of doing business. Comes out at the end of the year. Or at the end of the month, every month. But it's so worth it to pay that extra 3%. I truly believe if you want a good container, and again, some of these, I'm telling you, I think the biggest red flags to protect yourself from buying from the bad companies, if they're saying they will have a warranty, they're probably the crappiest company to buy from. If you have to sign a contract, you're screwed. You're screwed from the very beginning. If you pay by credit card, pay by debit card. That little Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Amex, that little symbol protects you. It really does. You can get your money back. But if you sign a contract that has cancellation fees and restocking fees, you've done that to yourself. And that's their legal loophole of what I think should be regulated, but it's legal, I guess. It's just a sneaky way to screw over their customers. So the only way is to not really get ripped off is actually 100% cash, real cash. And then, so the reason these companies don't do cash is because they have third-party drivers. So let's say the delivery is $500 and the container they're charging you $2,000 for that they purchased for $1,500, and then $500 if it is actually profit. And however much they pay their salesperson is up to them. But so you hand $2,500 to the driver, and these companies, they don't want $2,500 going to the driver. They want the they want the driver to keep their 500, but now they're at the mercy of getting their money. It's kind of reverse roles, actually, now that I just said it. Is now they're at the mercy of getting the cash sent back to them. I've had drivers that said yes to 100% cash on delivery, and then once you do it, they're like, hey, man, this is an accounting nightmare. We have to account for all this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, you said you would do it. I have some drivers that will do cash, 100% cash on delivery, and then when the sale's done, they Zelle me my money right away. But these are people I trust, and they trust me. When somebody sends me an invoice, I pay it. If I'm at my desk, I pay the invoice in 60 seconds. That's how I treat my drivers. That's why my drivers trust me. Because they know when they send me an invoice, I'm not going to sit on it for a month. I'm not going to sit on it for 2 months or 5 days. It's work that needs to be done, not your money. Pay it. Get it out of your business account. But yeah, all these companies that say they have 100% cash on delivery. It's not cash. It's not. You're going to sign a contract, and you're going to put some type of payment method on file. It's just all these misleading terms that you guys are listening to, and it sounds so great, and it's really so wrong. It's really so wrong. And that's why I'm making these videos to help people. I hope over the years that these videos start taking traction. But look, if I can give you guys any advice, don't sign anything before your order, and pay by credit card. That's it. Or pay by 100% cash. But these guys don't take 100% cash. So my advice is never sign a document. And then, so again, I know they have cancellation fees, because I've been sued, and it clearly says that they have cancellation fees after 5 minutes, and restocking fees for containers that leave the depot, okay? Which means I'm right. But, God, I had a point there, but if you have to buy from these guys that are going to oversell everything and promise the world to you, tell them you're not going to sign a contract. Tell them that you're going to pay by card, but you're not going to sign anything. You'll sign something after the container arrives. I know. You're the buyer. You have leverage. Nobody can make you buy anything. That's why I always say to people, if you can't call me to discuss all this stuff, because I sell good containers. I show up on the day that you know my driver is going to be there. When I take your order, you're going to know what day your container is going to be delivered. And I refuse to lie about anything about these containers. I'm not going to upsell it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell it how it is. And if you want to buy a piece of crap, junky container, I'm not your guy. Because I've been in business for 10 years, and I have 3 complaints from 3 people that never bought a container from me. How do you think I've achieved that? These companies that I've been warning you guys about, 2 years, 5 months, maybe, and that's one company, 200 plus complaints. Another company has been in business, I think, over 5 years. They have a lot of complaints, insane amounts of complaints. To protect yourself, you should read the complaints. I don't recommend reading these 5-star reviews from these companies. I just don't. I think, I truly believe that these companies write, they pay companies to write fake 5-star reviews. But back to the point of this video is protecting yourself in contracts. Don't sign contracts. And then protect yourself. So the only way to truly keep yourself protected so you don't get ripped off is 100% cash. And then just don't sign contracts or pay by credit card. I don't care if you have to pay 3%. At least you have leverage of getting your money back. So that's it. I probably forgot a couple things, but I wanted to keep this short and sweet, guys. All right, guys, have a great one. We'll get into some other videos and more educational things on how to not buy from these rookie sales agents that are just ripping people off, and these companies that have figured out loophole ways to put you last. It's sickening. I started my company because I work for companies like that. So, all right, guys, have a great one. Thanks for watching my videos. YouTube doesn't pay me. I got to the point to where I'm just so sick of what these companies are telling you guys just to make a sale, but they don't back up anything that they say. It's just never ending. It's always something new, and I'm always learning. I'm learning a lot because I'm studying these guys. I don't expect somebody looking for a container to really care about this much stuff. But when you're dealing with a company like mine, where I put my customers first, and I want to do everything that I've told you, it's very hard to compete with these guys that are flat out lying about everything that they're telling you. And it's gotten to the point. It wasn't like this before COVID. It is now. It's really bad, really bad. These companies I think they should be shut down, to be honest. I watched the YouTube video of how calling the BBB is not really effective, because as long as they respond, they're still going to keep their A rating, and as long as they keep paying money, they're going to keep their A rating. So your complaint means nothing unless somebody reads it, and if you don't read it, it's invisible. Well, that's why I was doing all those reviews of exposing what these companies are doing. I'm going to find a way to do this legally to where I can expose these companies on a legal level. And so on this video that I watched the other day, it was about how all these companies that have bad business practices and screwing over their customers, that you guys need to actually, if you're watching this video and you've gotten burned by one of these companies that I don't know if I can say their name currently, but I'm not going to. But you guys need to start calling like the state attorney on these companies and giving evidence of what they said, and like all these companies in the state where they're actually from, calling the state's attorney general, and notifying that what they're doing is bad business, unethical, no integrity, and they're screwing people over. So that's it, guys. Protect yourself. Don't sign contracts 100% cash or credit card. But the second you sign a contract, you've given them permission to, in my eyes, take advantage of you and put you last as a customer. So that's it. That's my warning. Have a great one, guys. Today's the 12th, Monday. Have a great one. Bye.